Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Hari Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaur. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we are gathered to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and the verse is numbers 26 from chapter 12 of that canto. The chapter is entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others. So please let's repeat together the verse. Hridi kamo bruva krodho, Hridi kamo bruva krodho, Lobas Chandra Dachad, Lobas Chadara Chadad, Lobhaschadaradachadat. Asyadvaksindavo medran. Asyadvaksandavo medran. Niriti payor agashraya. Niriti payor agashraya. Hridi kamo bruva krodho. Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Labha Chandra Dachadat. Lobhashchadara Dachadat. Asyadvaksindavo medran. Niriti payor agashraya. Hridikamo bruva krodho. Lobhashchadara dachadat. Asyadvaksindavo medran. Niriti prayor agashraya. Nikamo bhavat krodon. Ladies. Ridikamo brava krodho. Lobhashchadara dachadat. Word for word. Hridi, from the heart. Kama, lust. Bruva, from the eyebrows. Krodha, anger. Lobha, greed. Cha, also. Adhara dachadat, from between the lips. Asyat, from the mouth. Vak, speaking, Sindava, the seas, Medrad, from the penis, Nivritti, low activities, Payo, from the anus, Aga Ashraya, reservoir of all vices. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya. Lust and desire became manifest from the heart of Brahma. Anger from between his eyebrows, greed from between his lips, the power of speaking from his mouth, the ocean from his penis, and low and abominable activities from his anus, the source of all sins. Purport. A conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculation. However great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Therefore, it is very difficult to give up lust and the desires for low activities until one is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. When one is frustrated in lust and low desires, anger is generated from the mind and expressed from between the eyebrows. Ordinary men are therefore advised to concentrate the mind by focusing on the place between the eyebrows, whereas the devotees of the Lord are already practiced to place the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the seat of their minds. The theory of becoming desireless is untenable because the mind cannot be made desireless. When it is recommended that one be desireless, it is understood that one should not desire things which are destructive to spiritual values. A devotee of the Lord always has the Lord in his mind, and thus he does not need to be desireless because all his desires are in relationship with the service of the Lord. The power of speaking is called Saraswati, or the goddess of learning, and the birthplace of the goddess of learning is the mouth of Brahma. Even if a man is endowed with the favor of the goddess of learning, it is quite possible for his heart to be full of lust and material desires, and his eyebrows to display symptoms of anger. One may be very learned in the mundane estimation, but that does not mean that he is free from all low activities of lust and anger. Good qualifications can be expected only from a pure devotee who is always engaged in the thought of the Lord or in samadhi with faith. Shall we repeat the verse together? Lust and desire become manifest from the heart of Brahma. Anger from between his eyebrows. Greed from between his lips. The power of speaking from his mouth. The ocean from his penis. And low and abominable activities from his anus. The source of all sins. Omagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yes, so this verse is yet another verse describing the secondary creation. And it includes things that are you could say law of nature, but also it includes wonderful things which are very elevated. So the process of creation is executed by Lord Brahma on the order of the Supreme Lord. Lord Brahma had to undergo a lot of penances in order to become empowered. So this principle is observed everywhere in this creation. We cannot execute any service without first seeking the blessings of the Lord and meditating on His mercy and also purpose. This material world is a special arrangement by the Lord to give the living entities an opportunity to restore their original Krishna consciousness. Although sometimes we say this material world is created for the living entity to exercise his desire to enjoy separately from the Supreme Lord. Yes, that may be the original cause for this creation, but actually the Lord's purpose is different than the conditioned soul's purpose. The Lord's purpose is to give a chance to the conditioned souls who are separated from Him and bound up in this material world to remember Him and again become established in their original spiritual position of loving service to the Lord. So Prabhupada starts the purport in a very interesting way. He makes a statement here: a conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculations. So what I understand Prabhupada to be saying here is that all of us are influenced by mental speculation. The only persons within the material world who make exception, who are not included, are those who have already attained their original state of pure devotional service, who are completely transcendental and free from the influence of material nature. Material nature is very, 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 very strong. Daivi Hesha Gunamai. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it's Daivi, it's divine energy. Actually, there's only one energy, that's Maya, but Yoga Maya. And then coming in this material world, it manifests as Yoga Maya in order to keep the living entities bound to this world. So the process of creation is actually a gradual development of all the facilities and instruments for the living entity to act in this world. And the Lord is very merciful, because everything that is created is His energy, and it's very tightly connected to Him. The separateness that we see in everything in this world is only caused by our coverings of Maya, because everything actually in this world is interconnected. Like nowadays, they create these big machines, the so-called data centers. So we are fascinated, or I don't know if devotees are fascinated, but people are fascinated with the creation of these data centers that enable the artificial intelligence. And from time immemorial, people, the living entities who live in this world, they've been trying to replicate what God has created already. And Prabhupada often reprimands the material scientists. He says that why do they have to create something which is already there? It's already created. Why should we try to imitate God? Actually, the material, especially in Kali Yuga, everyone is trying to imitate something or somebody or something. And similarly, the scientists, they're trying to imitate the creation of God. They want to create things in a better way, more conducive to their sense gratification. But actually, if you think about it, we only create things that work against us and actually make us more miserable, more unhappy. The only, the main desire of everyone, I would say the only desire of everyone is to be happy. Every living entity is by nature Ananda Maya Vyasat. The living entities are created and they are like the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten how to be happy. We have forgotten. So from the beginning of the creation, the Lord gives all the facilities, and He gives also the manual, the Vedas. The Vedas teach the living entities how to be happy in this world. And Prabhupada very nicely describes the state of affairs of the conditioned souls. He says, first of all, he says, a conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculation. That means all of us have this tendency to speculate. The only way not to be under the sway of that tendency to speculate is to become connected with devotional service. And he says, however great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Psychic activities are the activities of the mind. We have the senses, but we have also the mind. So the conditioned souls coming into this world, they become subjugated by material nature, and they're struggling for existence with the senses and the mind. Well, it's easy to say, but it's difficult to actually do it. It's very difficult to live in this material world. All of us know how we first grow, then start to learn things, try to somehow manage on our own, and later on we are trying to somehow find some balance in this world, but it's very, very difficult, just because the material nature is very powerful, and material nature works under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Material nature will not let us be happy in this place. No one can be happy in this place unless one is connected to devotional service and the spiritual energy of the Lord. So, however great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Therefore, it is very difficult to give up lust and the desires for low activities until one is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. So Prabhupada is putting it in a very, very succinct and very compact way, that we are here being pushed by our desires, and they're created in our mind, in our minds, and we want to engage in sense gratification, in sensual activities, which we hope that they will bring us material happiness. But that's not happening, and the living entity is loitering in this creation until it comes to devotional service. I wanted to read to you one very, very wonderful verse in purport from 5th canto. It's the prayers of Lord Shiva, which Prabhupada describes nicely the condition of the living entities in this world. It's 5th canto, chapter 17, verse number 24. It's the last verse in the chapter. And Prabhupada's, the verse says, "The illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead binds all of us, conditioned souls, to this material world. Therefore, without being favored by Him, persons like us cannot understand how to get out of that illusory energy. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who is the cause of creation and annihilation." Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gornitai ki jai. So, let's hear Prabhupada's purport. Krishna clearly states in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, "Daivihye sha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mamevaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. All conditioned souls working within the illusory energy of the Lord consider the body to be the self, and thus they continuously wander throughout the universe, taking birth in different species of life and creating more and more problems. Sometimes they become disgusted with the problems and seek out a process by which they can get out of this entanglement. Unfortunately, such so-called research workers are unaware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His illusory energy, and thus all of them work only in darkness, never finding a way out. So-called scientists and advanced research scholars are ludicrously trying to find the cause of life. They take no notice of the fact that the life is already being produced. What will be their credit if they find out the chemical composition of life? All their chemicals are nothing but different transformations of the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, as stated in the Bhagadatta 2:20. The living entity is never created, najayate, mriyate, vakadachin. There are 5 gross material elements and 3 minor material elements, mind, intelligence, and ego. And there are eternal living entities. The living entity desires a certain type of body, and by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that body is created from material nature, which is nothing but a kind of machine handled by the Supreme Lord. The Lord gives the living entity a particular type of mechanical body, and the living entity must work with it according to the law of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities are described in this verse. Karma pamanim mayam. The living entity is seated on a machine, the body, and according to the order of the Supreme Lord, he operates the machine. This is the secret of transmigration of the soul from one body to another. The living entity thus becomes entangled in fruitive activities in this material world, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:7, Mana Sistanindriyani Prakritistani Karshati. The living entity is struggling very hard against the 6 senses, which include the mind. In all the activities of creation and annihilation, the living entity is entangled in fruitive activities, which are executed by the illusory energy Maya. He is exactly like a computer handled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada mentions computers here. The so-called scientists say that nature acts independently, but they cannot explain what nature is. Nature is nothing but a machine operated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one understands the operator, his problems of life are solved, As Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita 7:19, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyante Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. A sane man therefore surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus gets out of the clutches of the illusory energy Maya. Yes, Prabhupada very clearly says over and over again in all of his books. As we said in the beginning, everything in this world is interconnected, and also Shastra is so much interconnected. This verse is mentioned also in Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti Kriyamanani. Prabhupada quotes the verse in a chapter. So this verse, today's verse, simultaneously tells us how we are bound. I mean, the verse doesn't say that, but Prabhupada says it's the purport, how we are bound in this world by the senses and the mind. And also Prabhupada gives a clue how we can become freed from the clutches of material nature. The idea of devotional service is to connect ourselves with the Supreme Lord's internal energy, and this process it's not easy, but it's not impossible. If one is connected to Guru Parampara, if one is connected to the river of mercy, or the channel, what's the word? It's coming from Krishna directly to us. Okay, yes, to the energy of Krishna through the parampara, through the conduit of Guru Parampara. If we cannot connect ourselves, like we read in this purport about computers, there is the internet, so we have to connect to the spiritual net, of Krishna's divine energy, and somehow become part of the vast computer of Krishna's creation, and take little part in this whole process. Because the living entity by nature is spiritual energy, it's divine, and we have been separated. But the process of devotional service passed down through Guru Parampara connects us back to that spiritual network, and then we can become part of the whole and become useful to Krishna. We need to become useful to Krishna. Krishna likes to enjoy because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and if we properly navigate the process of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master in the association of devotees, we'll become reconnected to the spiritual um, the spiritual net or network of Krishna, and become useful in his purpose, in his creation, and ultimately we will rejoin in his eternal pastimes. We don't have to go back to the spiritual world in order to reconnect with Krishna. We can do it here. We can be here and be actually connected with Krishna. And the process is very simple, but our minds with our psychic activities make it very difficult, because we desire, we frustrate, and then we become angry, and then we continue rotating in this samsara. I would just read the last part of the purport, which helps us meditate on this. One may be very learned in the mundane estimation, but that does not mean that he is free from all low activities of lust and anger. Good qualifications can be expected only from a pure devotee who is always engaged in the thought of the Lord, or in samadhi with faith. So I was thinking with this term, to be connected in samadhi with faith, to be engaged in thought of the Lord, or in samadhi with faith. So this is Krishna consciousness. We have to become Krishna conscious, means we're connected with Krishna. We engage all our senses, the mind, and in devotional service, in the mission of our spiritual master, which is actually the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when we become connected like that, we actually are in trance. It doesn't mean trance doesn't mean that you have to sit and freeze like that and do nothing. Trance means to be engaged actively in the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and become a conduit through which the mercy comes down to those who are disconnected from the network of the spiritual world. So, like that. These are just some thoughts I had on this verse. And I must say that when one lives outside of the association, like immediate association of devotees, it becomes very difficult to practice Krishna consciousness. And those devotees who are, householders, they live outside. Their task is very difficult, actually. Devotees who are in the temple, they're very protected, and everything becomes very natural. But once you're out there, if you lose the connection with the network, you start struggling, and material nature is beating you very severely on the head. So therefore we should always remain connected in the association of devotees, hearing and chanting together, and trying to carry out the orders of the spiritual master. Okay. It's 8:30. If anyone wants to comment anything or wants to ask, not that I'll be able to answer, but anyway, I can try.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the class. I was looking at the verse, I was confused because it says lust and desire became manifest from the heart of Brahma. But I was thinking how lust was already there before Brahma created it, apparently, because Brahma comes to the material world because he has lust, that enjoying propensity. So, what does that mean?
You think, seeing a apparent contradiction, how is it that Brahma, originally he had desire, you could say lust, and then lust became manifested from his heart. So that's, you find this difficult to understand. Brahma became connected with the purpose of the Lord to create this material world. The Lord wanted to create this world, so he used Brahma. He's used by the Lord. Actually, Krishna is creating everything. All the energies of Krishna creating. We're living entities, as Krishna, Prabhupada explains in that purport of samsara. We come to this world and we are completely under the control of Krishna's energies. The living entities only desires. So Brahma was meditating for a long time. So he became very tightly connected to Krishna, and therefore Krishna used him to create all these different elements of material existence and like that. This is my understanding. If anyone has a better understanding, please share. I don't know if that makes it clear, but we are sometimes it's said that the living entity is only observer. The longer you live, you probably start notice, if you're not noticing now, but you will see your body is, I go to hospital every second day of the week, and I undergo a treatment. It's called dialysis. They connect me with one machine, and the machine pumps out my blood through air. It goes through some filtration, and then it comes back in again through air. It pushes through it. And I sit there, and it happens. And you can observe it. And in the beginning, it's very interesting. Later, it's just something that keeps you alive. But actually, the body is similar things. Body works without our consciousness. We don't create anything. It's all created by material nature. We're just sitting inside the body and desiring. That's all that is happening. Now the question is how to connect with people who have the right desire and learn from them how to desire the right thing. That's the question. That's the task of our life. And the whole process is meant for that. We're just to reconnect with Krishna. It's very elaborate, and people write many things and like that, and the Vedas are very vast. But the essence is just to grab the feet of a pure devotee and hold to them and learn how to surrender to Krishna in all circumstances. It's very simple, actually. But the mind makes it difficult, because mind is entangled in these complexities of material existence. It's very, very complex. Yes?
AI, artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is now thinking for the human being in certain aspects. That is going to continue, that the artificial intelligence is going to be quicker in thinking than the human being. Is that a road to annihilation at the end of time?
Oh, definitely.
Thank you for my thinking.
This will come to annihilation very soon. First of all, the machines are not thinking. People input information.
Exactly.
And somehow make the machine. It's like a machine, like a motor, like an engine.
Yeah.
It doesn't have consciousness, doesn't feel anything.
So I'm thinking, is that Brahma's plan, or Krishna? It's coming from Krishna. That.
No, I think this is a this is a deviation from Brahma's plan.
Okay. Right.
And actually, just think about one thing. AI cannot function without electricity, without an external input. And AI is a very, very destructive machine, because to run it, I saw one video my wife showed me, one devotee in America. He lives in a community which devotees purchased recently, and they were making plans to have a farm with grow food and everything, and then suddenly they created a data center next to the farm, and he said it's polluting so much, it's using water, so much water. Actually, these data centers, they use so much water. Prabhupada predicted that there will be a time when water will be very scarce. And nowadays, people are not doing it, but the time will come when people will fight for water. Like there were all these wars were for petrol, for oil. The time will come when people, and it's already happening. I just came from Bulgaria, which is my country of origin, and everything is so dry. Here, UK, still there's some water because of the Gulf Stream and its position in the middle of the ocean. But actually, all other countries are very dry, and there's a lot of fire and a lot of famine, and so much because of the imbalance. And imbalance is created by the living entities desiring the wrong thing. We want to be happy, separated from God. That's impossible. Not possible. Okay, I think we should finish here. Thank you very much for your patience. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Chimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Haribo.